Hey there, I'm Emgris, I'm from Russia, and today I'm gonna tell you about the craziest thing that I thought that I will never do, and I'm talking about Trans-Siberian train. And I actually fulfilled the dream of many foreigners that always dream about going throughout Russia by the train, by the Trans-Siberian train. Let me show you. It actually starts in Moscow and goes all the way around Russia to Vladivostok, and that's a 6-day trip. It actually used to be 12-day trip many years ago, and before that it was a 2-week trip and even more during the Soviet times. Nowadays the trains are faster, hopefully, and it takes only 6 days. But still, a lot of Russians think that it's the craziest idea, and they always think that foreigners don't actually know what they want, because for us, we understand the Russian trains. They're not as fancy as like maybe German trains, and not as fast. So you actually you get yourself into quite an experience, I would say, especially if you're traveling third class. Okay, I didn't travel third class, I took the second class. First class is still too expensive, and normally it usually costs around 1,600 rubles for this trip, but I actually love discounts, finding special offers. That's why I actually bought the train ticket for 2,000 rubles for a 6-day trip. That's the cheapest accommodation that I've ever experienced. Because like divide 2,000 rubles by 6 days and you get really the price of some shitty hostel in the middle of nowhere, not even in some big cities. So let me tell you about the cities of Trans-Siberian Railway. I will actually put some of the videos here, because you know what? I actually wanted to film the vlog, and I wanted to film an everyday vlog of those trains and of those cities, because it was actually usually one day, one city. But I didn't think through about it, because it happens that when it's -22, it's kind of hard to film a vlog, and especially it's hard to edit it when you're on the train constantly, and sometimes you're not occupying the lower beds, just the upper beds, so it's a whole shenanigan. So I'm filming this video right now and telling you about the cities that I've seen and I've visited during this trip. First of all, let me show you what our train looked like, the train where we spent 6 days of our trip. Here is the footage. And now let me show you a little bit of our train, of our carriage compartment. So it's actually a rather new compartment, because you see we have a table on the second row, and this is really helpful, because finally you can keep some things over there, and usually there is no table like this, and those things are also new, so you can put some things next to your pillow, and those things won't fall down on the table and break. And also a really cool thing is that you can see how high, you see, like the distance from the bed to the ceiling is really high. So in this case you can properly sit there, and you can properly breathe something and not hit your head, and not sit like crooked over there. And also those things, the USB ports for charging your phones, and down here we have a USB port and a proper socket to charge your things. Isn't it beautiful outside? That's Siberia. That's the proper Siberia. Okay, so we took a trip from Moscow, here it is, and here is Belarus, Poland, Finland, etc. So here is Moscow. Then we traveled all the way across our country, along Kazakhstan, this is Mongolia, along Mongolia as well, China, and here to Vladivostok, and here is already Japan, and all those Asian countries. And here is Vladivostok. So we arrived in Vladivostok. Let me try to show you. Yes, here is Vladivostok. So we came over here. It's really close to Japan and to Korea and those countries. So my thoughts about Vladivostok is that because it's really close to China, to Japan, there are a lot of Chinese products over there, and a lot of things remind you of China. Because you see a lot of signs in Chinese, you see a lot of products, you know that they are really fond of noodles and all those instant foods. So in China, not in China, in Vladivostok, you can see a lot of Chinese snacks, a lot of Chinese instant food, noodles, like rows of them in supermarkets. By the way, Chinese tourists are fond of visiting Vladivostok, but today the border is closed and there are no tourists at all, and local people feel pretty strange without them, but they also say that it's now not crowded. But for us, I think it was a good thing that there were no Chinese people over there, because we had an experience of seeing all the sights without crowds and without crowds taking pictures of everything. A stereotype about Chinese people. You also have a lot of Chinese restaurants with Chinese cuisine, and but why should you eat Chinese cuisine in Vladivostok when you have sea close to Vladivostok? That's why I actually tried a lot of calamari, a lot of crabs and those seafood that you can't find fresh in Moscow, and there it's just so tasty. We're actually really surprised that Vladivostok is as south as Sochi. Sochi is over here. And Vladivostok actually has its own beaches, and usually people do sunbathe and swim in the sea during the summer. And I thought that it's kind of cold over there, but no, it has its own climate, but it's pretty warm over there in summer. By the way, because it's so close to, let's say, Japan, and I think in Japan they have the right-handed drive cars, and that's why in Vladivostok you can find a lot of those cars as well, and that's mostly because those cars are cheaper over there, because you can imagine that transferring a new car from Moscow to Vladivostok is kind of harder than just transfer it from Japan, that is really close to Vladivostok. That's why a lot of cheap cars, a lot of Japanese, Chinese cars over there are with the right hand wheel, and only some premium luxurious cars like BMW, Mercedes, etc. are with the like our proper wheel on the left side, right? Because while I was over there, I actually got confused because so many cars with the like wrong-sided wheel, and that's why I sometimes confuse them, because you can't normally see those cars in Moscow, for example. Hey, from editing me, I understood that this video is kind of long, so I decided to break it into 2 parts. So stay tuned and wait for the second part, and comment in the comments what you want to know more about this trip.